Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Thursday, the 10th of April. Damn, we're really cutting through this year so far, aren't we? Bitcoin. So we've had a nice little move off the lows. Lovely, lovely little double bottom. And yeah, we pumped all the way up to 83.5 and have since failed this Q2 levels. So yeah, I think this is probably going to bar back down. Possibly in between 78.4 and maybe like 76.3 ish. There's probably a Stuber on the hourly just because we took out this high. But yeah, interesting. I definitely think there's a short in play here. If we go into like the lower time frames, yeah, it's broken structure, so you could do a very micro Stuber. It's possible, slightly too high for me, maybe around the 618, and then yeah, whoops. That's probably in the short term the most likely or probable trade. Just to take it down into here. And yeah, there's probably like a massive imbalance or FVG, whatever you like to call them, down there around just underneath the weekly open. So yeah, that's Bitcoin. Yeah, it's looking pretty cool. It's looking pretty cool. We like it. We like it a lot. Whoops, having a bit of a mare this morning. Let's have a look at ETH or what should we look at? A lot of things I haven't really checked in a while. Obviously, Bitcoin Dom is still doing Bitcoin Dom things, and yeah, this is possibly going to go up to 70% in the next move. Actually, actually, and yeah, not too much else there. I do want to just check ETH Bitcoin really quickly. Still looking very, very, very sad, but I mean, I've been saying possibly if we're going to find a bottom here, it's going to be here for like ages. So I don't even really want to talk too much on this chart until we actually see something substantial. Um, yeah, it's just every time you look like you're trying to gain something, it just comes back down. So I don't really want to talk too much on ETH Bitcoin. Actually, what a sad state of affairs. What a sad little life, Jane. So yeah, back to ETH actually. So I think it was possibly last week where we were looking at this weekly chart and this what was it this these two daily candles as well. Maybe it was the Friday one. It was this Friday one as well where we were looking like this is looking super duper weak and it needs to drop down a little bit further. So it did, and we're currently above the weekly open. This looks quite interesting, especially on the weekly. As you can see, the oscillator is down into the oversold territory, and we haven't broken this low yet. We haven't closed beneath it, so that level would be about 1550 approximately. And yeah, I would like to see exactly like this a bullish hammer candle on the weekly, and then we could possibly start creating some bottoming structure um, in between the Q2 and sort of the weekly slash 1500. That would be nice. And yeah, then we could talk about possibly going higher. But it's obviously too early to say anything now. But this is generally going to be good support. Interesting. We're going to be watching this weekly close like a hawk, and then yeah, hopefully get one like indecision candle and then a pump up to the Q2, and then we'll see if we can farm something out for a potential bottom. Actually, this might take on this oscillator. This might take a few weeks to actually like say something to us, and it might look like one indecision candle, then a pump up to here, then a dump back down, and then yeah, we might get the dot, and then something like that. But yeah, it's definitely looking like there's potential there for once, which is quite nice. What's everyone else's thoughts on ETH right now? Hood best stock trade I had yesterday is that Robin Hood. I want to add it. Yes, please, sir. I was actually someone told me to look at Sonos yesterday. I think it was my cousin. He's not really the biggest trader, but yeah. I see what you mean. I see what you mean at that. That's probably going to bull div massively on the weekly as well, isn't it? Yeah. I think they have a lot of parts made in places where there were tariffs on, but also, apart from Nike, it was what's the other one? It's not Shein. It's fuck, Lululemon. Is it Lululemon? Someone I watched some unverified information about what's that woman? Oh, it's a woman on Trump's team that bought some stocks, and she bought stuff allegedly that was affected by the tariffs. So like, for example, Nike was one of them. Lululemon. There's obviously factories and stuff in Vietnam and stuff. Which I was saying that there's possibly going to be a zero tariff deal, and it looks potentially very interesting to jump in. That I'm not as big of a fan of as Nike. This is it. That's the one. That's the one, man. That's gonna bull div again on the weekly. Look, it's just been bull diving since here all the way down into support on the weekly as well. So yeah, that's um that's the one there for me. Other than that, I'm not really that like hot, madly interested in stocks because I'd rather just buy Bitcoin. For example, like Sonos. I was like, yeah, the chart actually looks good. If we go back to Sono or whatever, yeah, the chart looks good, but again, what we gotta do, possibly 50 to 100%. I'd rather just buy Bitcoin, bro. Like, what am I doing? Get some more Bitcoin, bro. But yeah, in general, still looking fine. I definitely think there's still potential for 71k. Uh, as if we look at the daily chart on Bitcoin, it's still bearish. But we'll have to just see how it plays out. And yeah, this is definitely still a bearish retest in my opinion off the Q2. So we shall see. But that would be that. Solana. So let's actually just get a spare chart for now. Or not a spare chart, but yeah, this is currently underneath at 618 and it is bearishly retesting the Q2. So I still think, obviously, we're not out of the woods yet, and this is going to be major resistance right here. Um, However, obviously, this is like we are at mad support right now, just to see a potential. Like we've probably already seen the bounce, to be honest, off that and that. We got caught right in there, which is where I had my orders actually. And then yeah, the next level, I don't even see this like 82, 83 being that much. If we drop these, we're probably going straight down into 70, $70. And that would actually be the macro stuber, so there's probably, something like that. And another swing like there. So if this is not the end of the downtrend, which it very well could not be. But yeah, it looks interesting. On the slightly lower time frames for potential trades, again, it's quite similar to Bitcoin. Everything's trading quite similar right now. We probably got caught on the Stuber here. Whoops. We probably got caught on the Stuber here. Yeah, right on the AA6. And yeah, there's probably a little micro one down in here around the weekly open, the overlapping smart. So realistically, if you're trading this, you want to see that and a short up there, because then your stop could be like, I don't know, 2%. Yeah, it's fine. Or you want a long, whoops, or you want a long down here. There's not really much to do at the moment. It's kind of been like this all week. And also, we got loads of volatility coming in, so yeah. One thing I would like to talk about quickly, though, are the American-based crypto companies. So these things have actually been holding up decently well. Obviously, XRP and HBAR I've been looking at. The reason I'm looking at these is because I've been looking at slightly at the volume. And for example, this is HBAR. and we've actually had the big selling candle at the bottom. Um, Maybe this is better to see on the daily. I'm not sure. That's a little bit indecisive. We have had a big selling candle at the bottom, along with obviously retail stablecoin demand topping out. I haven't got this inverted, and a potential reversal, trend reversal, or reactive re-entry. That also flashed on the daily as well. So yeah, if we can get above Q2, this could actually potentially be something. And if I just turn off the delta quickly, you'll see that we've been caught on the daily swing down here, literally right in the middle of it. So I think there's definitely some things that are potentially shaping up semi-decently for a possible trade. It's just mega support down here. So yeah, that's one thing that I'm finding quite interesting. I think XRP as well. Was it XRP? What was I looking at just now? Yeah, that had a big selling candle down there. This is also needs to gain something, but if this were to gain sort of like, it's probably March, to be honest. It's probably that. If it were to gain that, we would have Gigabull div on the daily, a gain of a level, um, potentially topped out stablecoin. It's not really the most on XRP, but yeah, we're getting a reactive on the daily, and yeah, it looks potentially very good. Potentially. Let's take some of those off. Yeah, definitely a couple of things that I'm looking at are semi-interesting. So yeah. But again, I would like to preface this with we are still in a downtrend. We're currently bearishly retesting Q2 and the underside of levels. We need to see a gain, or we need to see a hold, or like a double bottom, or a high low. Right now, I'm still leaning towards possibly seeing 71k Bitcoin. Possibly. I just don't think the tariff stuff is over yet, and it's still a little bit uncertain. I don't think people are jumping into the market like blindly right now. But yeah, it's definitely interesting and potentially very good actually. I haven't checked BNB in ages. This thing's like a big stable coin. I'm not really that interested in it though. But yeah, Popcat. Yeah, Adrian was right yesterday. I was looking at a little um, scalp short, possibly on the weekly open. We just blew straight through it, which is pretty funny. Pretty funny. Yeah, just probably get your Stuber out on this. Actually, loosely around there. We've got the 618 around the weekly open. I'm not sure if that's going to hold. I'd probably rather go for something like this. Probably something like 1-3 there. If I were to long that. But this could definitely, I would possibly short that as well. And then it could even hold there. This is like this is quite an old daily level. And then, yeah, weekly open to 618 could also hold as well. So you got levels to bid. You got potential shorts in here. This is probably going to bounce up one more time, and this looks like it's starting to curve over before the Fed speech. And yeah, interesting though. Let's quickly have a look at Fartcoin. Sue is doing something interesting as well. Let me put that back in my stocks. Lots of things going on. So yeah, Fartcoin, which I briefly talked about just before I flipped this on. My original plan was to accumulate a massive 3x cross trade in between, like 20 and 30 cents. We obviously didn't get that, and we looked like we really bullishly held sort of like this swing in here. Um, to be honest, right now, it looks like it wants to go to 90 cent. It's kind of leading the market, isn't it? some very local breakdowns. There's obviously a daily open, which is going to keep us down right now. I think, yeah, like the rest of the market, this could fall down a little bit, and then there possibly might be a trade on here. But it's not really that clear cut for me at the moment. So yeah, but Fartcoin is doing really well at the moment, and you want to pay attention to the strong coins, especially on. I know everything bounced, but Hype did especially well. Um, I got way too many lines on this chart. Should I delete everything? I might actually just delete everything. Yeah, it's just too much shit on that chart. We'll put like yeah, we'll just leave it like that. So yeah, this is actually doing something very, very interesting, and that is the game of the Q2, which I was watching yesterday actually. Um, yeah, this is like typical V-bottom to be fair, because we obviously came down, literally tested this as resistance, which was the previous weekly open, which is also like this swing. I guess you can have a line from here as well, and then bullishly backtest this very local daily level and this down here, sorry, and then yeah, broke. And now we're coming up to like this is the nice one. So potentially going to farm out some structure here, and yeah, I like hype. It's actually probably had the best reaction from going really down below its lows. And if we can get a close above, let's say, like here, then you're looking to long any retest level down below. Obviously with a stop, but yeah, for a trade up into 17. I think we could see that very fast actually. $17 on the hype. So yeah, that's about it. That's what I've been looking at recently. I have been looking at some other stuff, just like Sui, a little bit loosely. Um, just due to the fact that this is obviously a logical area that you're going to get a bounce. Now, again, we are obviously underside retesting this area, so we either want to hold November the weekly, want to hold that structure when we come down now, or we want to gain Q2, and this is also going to bull div on the daily. Excuse me. But yeah, just something that I'm keeping an eye on as well, as potentially something interesting. So yeah, um, little update on the trades. So obviously, you guys might have saw the trades in the Discord. I want to just obviously talk about them a little bit. So um, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, by the way, with the trades. So I had obviously, I think I was talking about this maybe weeks ago. I had some 3x orders set on various coins. Um, you obviously saw the link fet and it was Sol. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows. What I'm trying to tell you, because I did get stopped out of my ETH trade, around about 10% on the position. I had a decent amount of margin as well, and then I also got stopped on Injective because Injective went actually like way lower than I thought it was going to be. I mean, I tried to get some at 7, but I got wicked out on this wick. Which is why you shouldn't really catch knives. But I mean, on 3x, I'm in demand. It's fine. Um, but yeah, I did buy some spot at $7 on Injective just because I had those orders set ages ago. My leverage trades didn't work out, but the other three did. So it is what it is. It's not really great trading etiquette to catch knives like that, but I just set them so long ago, like a month ago at least, that I just didn't want to take them off. So yeah, and Sol, only half my orders got hit on Sol, so it wasn't like, it's not as like, if you just think that I just caught the Pico bottom and didn't have any losses, it's just not, that's just not the case. But anyway, I did do pretty well off, for example, the Link one. Where's Link? Down here. This is probably the one that I did the best on, due to 10.2 being like, okay, this is where we're gonna hit. and then overlapping demand, and then all my orders got hit and it just pinged straight up. So yeah, yeah. Anyway, rant over for now. Rant over for now. What's everyone else looking at? And potentially, I know it's been a bit of a weird week for trading. It's been a bit of a weird week for me as well. If I didn't have my plan set a month ago or orders set a month ago, I wouldn't have traded at all this week, unfortunately. Just because it's just a bit, it's very rocky. There's loads of news, it's all uncertain. Like, it's very hard to trade unless you're scalping with good risk management at the moment. But yeah, there's potentially some good things that are lining up on the charts for some actually very high probability trades, which you can have like high conviction in. Render had a really nice bounce as well. Just giga resistance above though. Hood best stock trade, so yeah, let's have a look at Hood. Because I am mildly interested in stocks at the moment, just because we're down so much, and I have zero exposure to the stock market. So, yes. Yeah, it just looks weird to me. I just think this could do more, personally. I think this could do that. I just don't think it's time to get like giga bullish yet. But then again, like I see charts like Nike, and I'm like, I want to buy some of this. So yeah, that's what I was trying to ask Viking. Yeah, was it yesterday? I was like, what do you think about? Obviously, I don't know if this is the bottom yet, but what do you think about really good looking charts like Nike? Because the stock market could easily do another 20% leg down, and then I'll be like proper licking my lips at it. But the Nike chart just looks so attractive. It's like a 10-10 across the bar, and she's like, you've caught eye contact with her, and you're like, yeah. Stink mid set 69 for Soul. Yeah, fair. so so based. Imagine having a few orders hit on PopCap between 1215 and 1260 with stop loss 118 that night before price action went. Exactly, bro. And the percentage move on that is absolutely insane. But it's just so. It's just giga risky, isn't it? Like, to be fair, okay, let's just take some of this show off for a second. I did have this low, this daily low. This is like the all-time daily low. I did have this like charted out as like a potential, like this is gonna be the like bottom structure. Um, so I actually had at least the chance to catch that here. I could have set some orders on 1, 2, 2. I just didn't for some reason. It would have been kind of goated if I just take some of this stuff off and go to the hourly. Yeah, it just would have wicked straight through. But like, this is what you gotta understand. This wick is 6%. So like, where do you put your stop? Do you know what I mean? If you're trying to catch 1, 2, 2, you're probably putting your stop at 2%. You're probably getting wicked out. Do you know what I mean? It's just a bit. The better trade is the hold of that um, here, right there. That's the better trade because then you still get the 30% move. What's that 30%? You get the 30% move and you get like the less risk of getting stopped out. But I definitely hear you. Even on spot, you could have bought some spot down here, like just been chilling. Which is why we love PopCat, isn't it? We do love it. We love it and enjoy it. You have to have appreciation for it, bro. You just have to appreciate it, and it will love you back. But yeah, there's definitely some interesting things that are going to line up soon. Soon. We're just not. We're just not quite there yet, and also we have a lot of stuff happening today and tomorrow. So for me, I'm just going to be chilling. Although yeah, I am looking for a trade. I am looking for something. It's just a bit, yeah, possibly hype when it comes back down. I like this for a potential bottom. Yeah, the problem with Popcat is that it's getting quite a different wicks across exchanges. Yes, because the liquidity will be different. But you could try Fartcoin as well. Um, Zeus, what you got for us? You got any new coins? Is Ego in here as well? Ego's not here this morning. But I know what would happen if I wouldn't have that stop loss set exactly, bro. Exactly. Unless you're on like 1 or 2. If you're on 2x, you could gamble something without stop loss because your leverage is so low that you could essentially turn it into a spot trade if you're down that much. Do you know what I mean? And just have it there. But anything above, Propsy cancelled that airdrop. Oh, did they? That's rough. Did they actually? I thought I was gonna get a nice airdrop from them. I'm chatting to them now. Okay, nice. I'm actually I've still got so much locked Propsy that I can't claim. That was going to be one of my big winners this if we were going to get the proper like altcoin run. I really like what they're doing over there. I really do. I actually jumped. You know when I bought Prop C, I was still at uni. That's how long ago I bought it in the private sale. No idea what you're talking about. Lol. Nice segue to my question. General housekeeping, actually. I can see you use Bybit for your drawings. Assume you trade there. If not, how do you handle differences between exchanges? I don't use Bybit. No. I just use Bybit because everyone uses Bybit. If I'm looking at volume, I'll probably use Nance. If I'm using just a random chart, I'll use Bybit. If I'm actually trying to get, the reason I use Bybit is because I use Blowfin, and it's generally quite similar. If I need to find a scalp, I'll specifically go onto the chart that I'm trading on. So I only use the only three exchanges I have available. Well, not available, but I use are Femex, Blowfin, and Hype. So Hype's obviously something completely different. Blowfin's very similar to Bybit, which is why I use Bybit charts for Blowfin. And then if I specifically need to look at like a scalp, I'll use the chart specific to my exchange, so Femex. But the Femex chart's a little bit weird sometimes, so I just default to Bybit. I used to trade on Bybit all the time, like years ago when it was available, when it was my favorite exchange. I loved it so much. So I just default to Bybit. But if I'm looking, for example, if you're on the 3 minute and you're trying to catch a scalp, you need to obviously go to the chart that you're to the exchange that you're trading on. But generally, I find that Bybit is fine. But actual prices. So for scalping, you basically need to look at two different charts at the same time. If I'm scalping, I'll go to the chart to the exchange that I'm trading on specifically. Um, so for example, if I'm going to Popcat, let's do this. What chart is this? It's Bybit. Let's actually compare. What's this? This is MEXC in it. That's MEXC. They're literally exactly the same price, pretty much. And then if we go to popcat.p, and let's go to Nance first. Pretty much the same. And we'll do Femex as well. Yeah, so Femex is a tiny little bit different, which is why if I am trading Popcat, if I'm scalping Popcat on Femex, I'll have to use the chart, but it's just a bit janky in it. all these gaps and stuff. I don't like it, so I just default to Bybit or Blofin. Blofin and Bybit will be probably exactly the same because they kind of have the same. They just have the same similar setups. But yeah, say you chain on Binance, obviously just trade on Binance, just use the Binance chart. I think Bybit, yeah. I just default to Bybit because that was my exchange back in the day. It was actually Binance, but yeah. Let's have a look at XRP. This will probably this is 997. We'll do XRP on 996. Yeah, so that's a little bit of a difference as well. I'll go to FEMX. Where is it? There. Yeah, that's a little bit different as well. The FEMX chart's so weird on TradingView though. It's fucking jarring. So yeah, to answer your question, just trade on the exchange that you're trading on, or if you're trading on some weird exchange, then I just default to Bybit or Binance for volume. Generally, let's have a look at this comparison. So yeah, that is quite a big difference on the dump, especially on the 3 minute. That only went to 1,238 ish, and that probably went to all the way down to 1,2,2 maybe on the left. So yeah, the order books will be a little bit janky. Yeah, I have lots of drawings on wrong charts. I'm in exchanges. Yeah, I know how you feel. It's a little bit annoying. If I could just use Binance and Bybit, I would be fine because I'd be trading on the right chart, the charts with the most volume, and the exchanges with the most volume or whatever. But it's just not the case. You know, sometimes that tiny little price difference can actually help you a little bit. um, Without even knowing. But yeah, what exchange do you trade on? Absolutely for low time frame, use the exactly. If you're like underneath the 15 minute, you should obviously be trading on the chart which you're trading on exchange. But other than that, it's just I don't really care too much for it. I just use Bybit. Even found the same Bitcoin was so much volume. Yeah. I mean, what's this? This is Binance. Binance and Coinbase are always like $50 to $100 above Bybit and Bitstamp. Interesting. Yeah, I draw everything on Binance, and when I trade elsewhere, the differences are annoying, and for scouts, useless. But for Bitcoin, all my plans are on the Binance chart, so it's a hassle. I know exactly what you mean, bro. There's not really a way around it. It's just a minor inconvenience. And because you don't have access to Binance, you're probably right in doing all your drawings on the Binance charts, just so you can work brainstorm it, and then basically you go to the actual exchange chart that you're on, and it's completely clean, so you can actually do your stuff properly. Um, yeah, there's no way around that, unfortunately. It's just a minor inconvenience. I haven't specifically selected all these Bybit charts. They're just from when I used to trade on Bybit, so I just left it like this. But yeah, so yeah, not much really else to say today. Like we're in a bit of a we're in a bit of a pickle this week. Just kind of waiting for the dust to settle. And essentially today, possibly into tomorrow, I don't think I'm going to be doing any trading unless we get something like this, and then we get like regain. Then yeah, long. I just don't really want to get caught up in the tsunami. I used to use Binance for spot buys because in most cases it used to have the longest history. Yeah, and the most volume. And the most volume. So yeah, I think that looks really nice. This is probably gonna. This actually is a potential short, especially if this comes down a little bit more. This band's gonna go straight, and that's a double wick into banding the 4 hour with the W reversal in overlapping uh, supply. So this is not looking too bad. It could mess about up here for a little bit while it tops out on the oscillator on the 4 hour. Especially as we've got this 1 hour hidden bull. So potentially could have another go. It's looking interesting though. Um, yeah, I think we'll probably leave it there.